And the fixtures are coming in thick and fast for Bangalore this week. They will be in action again on Friday when they take on the in-form Kolkata Knight Riders, who have started the tournament with 2 wins and a super over defeat. Over the weekend, we caught up with KKR's batting coach, former Australia batsman Simon Katich, in New Delhi to discuss all things IPL's shortest format. And I began by asking him if he was satisfied with his team.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of positives out of our 3 games so far. We've obviously had the 2 wins, didn't quite get up against Delhi last night in the super over, but I think the boys can be really proud of the way they fought back, particularly with the bat. I think we were 5 for 65 at one point, and looking down the barrel of maybe only being able to get 150, which would have been below par, but to get 185 was a great effort. And then I thought the bowlers fought back well after that very good partnership between Prithvi Shaw and Shreyas Iyer, who are 2 very good young players. So I thought our bowlers did a great job at the end to get us back in the game, and then a fantastic super over where on the night Kagiso Rabada bowled a beautiful over to our batsmen, and in the end Delhi deserved the points.
Simon, when you played your cricket, you were pretty much in the classical mould of batsmanship. Now when you work with the batsmen of this generation at KKR, are you dumbfounded at times with the evolution of skills, especially around this 2020 game?
I'm not dumbfounded because I see the way the guys train, and I see the time and effort that they put in to try and develop their not only their timing but also their technique to just in the business in our team. But we've also got a lot of very highly skilled batsmen that don't have to overhit the ball. So a lot of our guys, I think the focus is on making sure that they don't try and overhit the ball and time it, because when you do start to try and overhit it, that's when guys start to lose the basic technique of being in a powerful position to hit the ball over the rope. So that's something we do focus on with the batsmen, but a lot of them have got the natural ability that they do it of their own free will, and particularly our Indian boys, the way they play the spinners and are able to hit sixes at will when they need to, and we've seen that so far this tournament. Nitish Rana, Robin Uthappa, and even Dinesh Karthik last night. We all know that Andre Russell's got power and Chris Lynn's got power, but these guys can clear the fence line-up, and then you throw in someone like Sunil Narayan, who just bats how he bats, sees the ball and hits it, and he keeps it pretty simple. So, from a coaching point of view, we don't try and overcomplicate it too much. We trust the players to, trust their instincts and play on with that bit of freedom, because you need that in T20. The game's changed a lot since when I played.
Simon, of course, KKR have the luxury of not bowling to someone like an Andre Russell in the form. It isn't just mindless hitting from the big West Indian, is it? There is a method to the madness. What do you speak to Andre about in the nets when you look ahead to a match or a particular opposition?
Yeah, I think the thing that we've asked from Andre, obviously we know how much of a match winner he can be, but I think from a batting point of view, the one thing we've tried to work with him on is keeping still. He does like to clear his front leg to generate that power at the back end of an innings when guys are starting to try and hit him on the heel. But what he has done so well so far in this campaign is that his front leg is so wider to him, so teams can't just throw the ball out wide with pace off or wide Yorkers and think that he's going to be off the wicket clearing his front leg, and basically with his feet and his hips. He's consistently hitting the ball out of the park, and I think if he can continue to do that for the series, he's going to...
Dinesh Karthik a little bit earlier, Simon, and he too is someone who has this ability to find the gaps where conventional logic would perhaps suggest that none exist. We saw him attempting a sweep of Kagiso Rabada the other night. What are we seeing, Simon? Are the batsmen of today willing to take body blows now against big fast bowlers in an attempt to score quickly?
Well, it comes from the practice they do. I think none of our guys would go out in a game and try and play those shots and execute them under pressure like a super over if they haven't practiced them. So it's something that the guys do a lot of drills in the nets with. They do face bowlers a lot in the nets to get themselves in the right frame of mind for a game, but what they also do is they'll go off into a side net and get balls lobbed at them, or try and simulate things that they're going to try and do in a game, and that's how guys get better and evolve as players, and that's something that Dinesh does very, very well. He's a very difficult man to bowl to at the back end of an innings. He showed that yesterday in Delhi with a fantastic knock, and he hadn't had much batting so far in the tournament given the top order had batted so well in the previous games, but He was on fire yesterday and got us into a really good position. But those play.
In the initial few years, Simon, KKR have been one of the most consistent teams in the IPL, and a lot of it has to do with the core of Indian players, especially in the middle order. Already this season too, we've seen the likes of Robin Uthappa, Karthik, Nitish Rana among the runs, and that augurs very well for the campaign, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think you need that in the IPL because you're playing in Indian conditions where the local players have a big advantage over the foreign players. You know, they know these conditions inside out. They play here all year round and they've grown up with spinning wickets or wickets that, you know, they've been used to. So that's something that has been a big advantage for KKR, and we're hoping that not only those guys, but even guys like Shubman Gill, who's a very good young talent that's coming through and had a great IPL last year. You know, if he can join in the mix there, he's not getting a huge amount of opportunities at the moment, but if he does get some opportunities, he's got a huge amount of talent. And then thrown in the overseas guys, obviously Naran's been excellent with the bat for us. Russell, Chris Lynn had a very good IPL last year. So if they can all fire at the same time, we do have a formidable batting lineup.
Okay, Simon, you play the Royal Challengers from Bangalore next on Friday. Are you surprised with how they seem to be unable to gel together as a team? They do have some great batting talent. We know that in the likes of Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers, but consistency has been missing, and for more than a few seasons now.
Yeah, look, it's a tough question to answer because I don't see it firsthand. I'm not within their squad to be able to, you know, answer that question and say, you know, what is wrong, because they've got a lot of talented players. I mean, every squad in this competition is highly talented because of the fact that, you know, it's the best of the best, not only the local players but also the overseas players that come. So it is the Premier T20 comp in the world. So every team's strong. RCB is strong. Yes, they've lost a couple of games, but we all know in this game that it only takes an AB Villiers or a Virat Kohli or you know, one of their top players to fire, Umesh Yadav. You know, they've got a lot of very good players, Chahal. So on any given day, you know, any of these players can win your team a match. So I think if anything that stands out in this comp, I think if you've got guys that are prepared to play their role for the team and everyone's doing that game in, game out, you get that consistency with your performance. But as soon as guys start playing their own individual game to suit themselves, then the team can start to run into some problems.
Okay, Simon, we have to slip in one non-IPL question to you. I know that the scars will take some time to heal but with the one-year bans of David Warner and Steve Smith now coming to an end, is Australian cricket ready for a fresh start, in your opinion? Recent results in ODI cricket have been very good after a horror 2018. Do you now see the Australians as big challengers?
Cricket, because I think, you know, what unfolded in Cape Town and not going back to that, you know, things needed to change. That's been addressed by Cricket Australia, and obviously there's been a change in staff. And I know Justin's work ethic and his passion for Australian cricket is second to none. And what we've seen in these recent results is, you know, a lot of guys starting to play their best cricket at the right time. So Australia do like to play well in the big tournaments like the World Cup, and they've certainly got the personnel to get to the back end of the tournament and you know, be there at the end. But what they probably have lacked, particularly in the last 12 months or so, is consistency in Test cricket, and very hard to replace two very good batsmen in Warner and Smith, who've scored, you know, a lot of Test hundreds between them. So as a result, India were obviously too strong in Australia and deserved to win the series there. But I think in time, with Justin in charge and with a few of these guys coming to the team, hopefully our Test cricket will start to pick up again, because we've certainly got a very good pace attack and a very good spinner in Nathan Lyon. But our biggest stumbling block in recent times, and not so much in Australia but away from home, has been our ability to get scores on the board and for the top six to get hundreds. And with no Smith and Warner, that's something where we've struggled.
All right, on that note, thank you so much for speaking to us, Simon Katich, and illuminating us on how it is that these modern-day T20 batsmen prepare for the shots that we see in games. All the very best to you and your team for the rest of the season.
My pleasure. Kolbo Lobo Jibo.
There's some Bengali from Simon Katich there, but we're changing tracks from cricket to football now, and Arsenal have shot up to third